Jason, thank you for being here with us today. We are very happy to having you. And first of all, we want to know about how you start in basketball.
Well, first of all, I had love and passion for all sports growing up, not just basketball. It was baseball, football, American football. Got into golf a little bit later, but really, I think basketball was the one, just because maybe it was indoors, maybe with air conditioning, and plus just the way it is played, but with four other guys, and to be really good and be competitive, all five guys got to be on the same page.
How you learned that you were good to play basketball?
I just always worked hard and tried to perfect my craft. Whether that be dribbling, passing. You guys really made it, as fans, made me who I really am. I just went out and played the game, and you guys put me up on this pedestal or whatnot, so I appreciate that.
Okay, when you were a kid, when you were a young player, who was the player that you used to admire?
Well, first off, it was my dad. My dad was the first player that I ever really liked. Was like, wow, man, I wish I could play like him. But as a professional player, it was probably Jason Kidd. When he played for Dallas, that was the only jersey I've ever owned, was a Dallas Mavericks number 5 jersey, which he wore his rookie year, and I was a really big fan of his growing up.
Pete Maravich, do you hear about Pete Maravich?
Of course, Pistol Pete was great too. The footage that I really couldn't get much game footage on him because of the age difference there. I've got a couple footage game film of him, but other than that, it was hard to see him play.
For you, what was your worst nightmare as a player? The player that when you go against him, it was like a nightmare for you.
Well, I mean, almost every night for me, it was tough. In the NBA, those guys are really good, but specifically, guys like Gary Payton was a tough player. Allen Iverson was a tough player. Stephon Marbury was a tough player. Just about, I'm happy. I'm kind of a little bit happy that I'm not in NBA anymore, so I won't have to guard these guys that are playing now. But money-wise, financially-wise, I'd like to be in there.
Okay, perfect. A lot of people, especially young people, learn about you because your famous elbow pass. Tell us a little bit more about this move, the elbow pass. How do you invent it? How do you create it? Do you practice it, or how did it come?
It comes from a lot of practice. I spend a lot of time in the gym trying to master my craft, like I said earlier, and just my imagination. I think kids need to have a better imaginations nowadays. I think they get caught in the gym with trainers and coaches telling them what to do, everything. Do this, do that. Whereas when I was growing up, I didn't really have any trainers like that. I was just on my own, so my imagination had to come out. Where I just do different drills and things like that. And just one day maybe it got caught behind my back and I hit it with my elbow. So that's just how that came about. I think just being in the gym by yourself and working hard and having imagination is what makes you a better player.
You are a younger player in the draft now, and then you will be selected by one team. What team do you choose to play right now?
I'd like to play, if I got to pick, I'd play for the Warriors, just because obviously they're good players, and they got all the pieces that needed to win a championship. But me as a point guard and the way I like to pass the ball, to be able to throw the ball to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson to shoot the ball and have Draymond Green rebounding and playing defense the way he does, that's a tough team not to want to play on.
If you tell me an actual player that is playing at this time, it reminds you the way you play.
Honestly, I don't think there's a player that plays the way I played, that's playing today. I think that with the flair that I played with and the way that I like to pass the ball, not the way that I did pass the ball, it's just like I love to pass the ball. I don't know if there's any players in today's game that love to pass the ball, and I don't think that's a fault of theirs, because I think guards today in the NBA, they need to score as opposed to pass. Back when I was playing, I had guys that score. That wasn't my job. My job was to pass and get those guys the ball. Nowadays, Russ Westbrook, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, these guys, they got to score the ball for those guys, for their teams to be successful.
Do you think that right now the kind of game that we are seeing in the NBA is less fun in terms to the passing, the collective game?
I love basketball, and I think the NBA is a great game, and it's like at the highest level it's ever been at. So I really enjoy the game, but I totally understand where you're coming from. It's a different game than when I played. It's a lot faster paced. It's more scoring. It's more fouls. There's less posts up. Back in the day when I played, we had Shaq, we had Chris Webber, we had Vlade Divac, we had Tim Duncan and guys like that, Karl Malone. These guys posted up under the basket. They weren't really worried about three-pointers. Nowadays, I think in the NBA, if you can't really shoot three-pointers, it's going to be hard for you to be successful.
And another thing is that your generation, it was great point guards. It was you play against some of the best, John Stockton, BB, Starks, for example, Magic Johnson. It was the greatest one.
And I agree with you. I think Magic Johnson was the best point guard ever to play the game. And the guys that you named that I played against, Stockton and Bibby, and I mean the list goes on and on. But today's point guards are really good too. I don't want to get it twisted.
Yeah. It's different.
It's totally different. I don't think a lot of those guys you named that I played against don't really want to guard those guys nowadays.
Yeah.
But vice versa. These John Stockton and Mike Bibby will give these guys some buckets too now. So it's like you said, it's a different game, but it's these guards today score the ball more for sure.
If you can go back and give an advice your younger self, what you will say to a younger Jason Williams if you will have that opportunity?
Basketball wise, no life situations, just basketball.
Whatever you want to share.
Well, there'll be a lot of life stuff that I'd change a little bit, but the mistakes that I've made growing up and things like that, I think they've happened for a reason. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want to get in trouble, but I think that was good for me at that time in my life, But basketball wise, man, I'd shoot more jump shots. I'd stretch more, and I would lift more weights. Other than that, I'd keep it the same.
What do you think about the basketball in an international level?
I think it's really, really good overseas. I mean, there's a lot of good players all over the world, and a lot of good ones are in the NBA that are from outside of America. But I still got my money on USA. I mean, they're going to win the thing. I don't until somebody beats them. Australia beat them the other day, but they weren't even popping any popcorn at that game, so who cares?
Okay, perfect. I will ask you to choose between two options. So I will give you the options to you choose one. Okay? Lakers or Clippers?
Lakers.
Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron.
Wow, I didn't expect that. But it's okay. The Dream Team or the 2008 USA team?
The Dream Team.
The Dream Team. Okay, perfect. I want you to elaborate a little bit more about why you choose LeBron instead Jordan.
Okay, well, first of all, Michael Jordan was great. If I got stuck with Michael Jordan, I'd be okay with that too. But I think LeBron is a better player. First of all, the rules were different defensively when Michael Jordan played. You couldn't play a zone defense like you can against LeBron. I think LeBron could lead the league in scoring, rebounding, blocks, steals, and rebounds. I don't think Michael Jordan could have done that.
Okay.
That's why I think LeBron is better than Jordan.
If we try to go back and try to point three special moments in your career. The first one, the BB. Second one, the Gary Payton crossover. And the third one, the elbow pass. Which one do you remember most?
I remember them all pretty good. They were all pretty significant moments in my career. But I'll probably go with the elbow pass just because I think a lot of people relate that to me. And then they get to talking about that, and then they'll talk about the Gary Payton thing, not so much the Bibby thing, but yeah, the elbow pass. I'm going to go with the elbow pass.
If you can give some advice to young players to improve the game, it's not more like skills, because the skills, at the end, they will develop. But in the mental toughness or some advice to be better, what you will say to them?
I would just tell them to keep working hard. You might not make every team that you try out for, and don't let that discourage you. If you get cut, some teams can only keep 10 guys, some keep 8, some keep 12, whatever the number may be. If you don't make that number, just use that as fire. Go back that summer and work hard, and come back and make the team next summer. I would just tell them, don't ever give up, and don't ever let no one tell you can't do something. If you think you can do it, then you can do it.
Perfect. And finally, where did it come from, your nickname? White chocolate, chocolate blanco.
Yeah, it came from some lady in the Sacramento Kings PR department gave it to me. Like I said earlier, I just went out and played ball, and you guys, media and fans like that, you guys put the label on what type of player you are, things like that, which that's part of the job. Didn't bother me a bit. It might have bothered some people. Like, racism is like the furthest word from my vocabulary. I don't even. That's the craziest thing to me. So when people think it's something like that, that's the furthest thing from the truth.
What do you like about Mexico?
This is my second time here. The people are great. The food is great. Hospitality is great. But I do have one problem.
What?
The traffic.
Yeah, I get you, man.
I'm sure you don't like the traffic either.
I don't like it at all. Thank you very much, Jason. For now, just if you want to send a message to our fans, to Nación Ráfaga, if you want to say something to them.
Just like to say thanks for having me, and I look forward to tomorrow. We'll have a good time.